welcome back to my channel. Hi, this is Time with Louis Fusion Diaries, where every video we travel to a new country, blending with their culture, more importantly their traditional outfits. We're fusing with it. So in today's video we're going to be traveling to the beautiful island country of Kiribati. Kiribati is located in the Pacific Ocean, halfway between Australia and Hawaii. And I chose this country because it's the first country in the world to receive daylight sunrise before anywhere else in the world. I also chose this country because it's very susceptible to climate change. They have increased flood and rising sea levels, so I feel the need to very much highlight this country. Well, in this country I was drawn to their female wear. Female wear has three main parts. That's the tibuta, the tikabwa, and the tekora. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. So the tibuta is a long wrapped skirt, the tikabwa is a blouse made from breathable lightweight material, while the tekora is a decorative sash worn around the waist to hold the tikabwa together. I was really inspired by the tikabwa and the tekora, hence the sewing of this beautiful pink dress. It's an A-line gown and it has a similar tekora on it that runs from the back to the front, and I made it to be A-line because of the tibuta that's in the Kiribati women's attire. It is a flowing skirt and I wanted mine to be a free gown, A-line gown like a tibuta. So if you'd like to see how I made this beautiful dress, make sure to keep on watching. For today's one, we're going to be using this Ankara and this full-on pink crepe. Next, I'm going to put our material on fold, placing our tape at the beginning of the folded side. We're going to take the length body measurements, starting with our hemline, that is 1 inch. Placing our tape on our hemline, I'm going to start off by marking down neck. I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches, and on our shoulder line I'm going to mark 3.5 inches, and I'm going to connect them together.
You sticks, we up.
From our neck marking on the shoulder line, I'm going to come down and mark my bust measurement, that is 12.5 inches, my under bust measurement, that is 15 inches, and my waist measurement, that is 18 inches. Next, on our bust, under bust, and waist measurements, I'm going to mark our nipple to nipple space, that is 4.5 inches, and we're going to connect them. On our under bust measurement, I'm going to mark 0.5 inches on both sides of our nipple to nipple space measurement, and I'm going to connect 0.5 inches to the bust and the waist measurement, and I'm going to connect the other side of the 0.5 inches to the bust and waist measurement. This will give us a diamond shape and it will serve as our darts. Next, for our halter neck, we're going to mark 2 inches from our neckline marking, and I'm going to just mark that 2 inches round. Taking our tape, I'm going to mark my full-on shoulder measurement, that is 16 inches, half of it is 8 inches. I'm going to mark that on the hemline. For our armhole measurements, I'm going to come down by 8 inches as well. I'm going to mark it. Unfortunately, I lost the clip where I drafted out the armhole, but I'm going to explain it either way. Length of my armhole being 8 divided by 2 is 4. At that 4-inch mark, I went in by 0.5 inches, that gave it that curve. On the 8 inches mark, I went up by 1.5 inches, and I went side by 1.5 inches well, giving it that curve. Normally, if we're doing a normal shirt pattern, we'll come down by 1 inch on our shoulder line, and from the folded neckline we would connect it to give it that slant. But because this is a halter neck, rather we're going to come down by 3 inches on our halter neckline, and we're going to connect it to our 1.5-inch mark of our armhole. So this is our new armhole. Next, I'm going to add our body measurement for our bust. That's 41 divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. That is 11.75 inches. For my under bust and waist, I'm going to mark 34 divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches. That is 10 inches. So these are the markings of the front piece. The full length of this gown is 45 inches plus 2 inches. For this type of gown, I'm not working with a hip measurement, but just to be on the safe side, I did. So from my waist, I just take 10 inches down. That is my hip measurement. For my hip measurement, I divided it by 4 plus 4 inches, giving me extra space for the A-line. For how much flare I have in my A-line, I just took it out to as much as my material could take. Time to cut, and I'll tell you, do not cut out the neckline, only cut out the armhole. The neckline, it's not time to cut it yet. We're going to transfer our front piece on folded material, leaving 2-inch space for zip allowance. For our back neckline, it's not going to be as low as the front was. So first we're going to reestablish our hemline. Then we're going to come down by 1 inch from that hemline, and we're going to connect that 1 inch to the width of our neckline, our front neckline. So this will be the new neckline for the back. Next, we're going to trace our armhole on the back fabric. At this point, you cut out the neckline of the front piece, but since mine has been cut out, I'm just going to take it out. The reason we cut out the front piece and we're drafting out a new neckline for the back is because the depth for the back is different from the front, and if we were just to cut it out, it would be so big. So to make it balanced out, we're just going to draft out a new one, but it's still the same 2 inches round. Extending our hemline from where it was, I'm going to come down by 2 inches on our new halter neckline, and I'm going to connect that point to our drafted armhole. So this is the back pattern for our halter neck. So time to cut, we're also going to be including our zip allowance as well. Body measurement remain the same, so we're just going to cut that as it is.
You sticks. We
Cutting is done. Time to get into sewing. Taking our front piece, we're going to be piping the armhole with a 1-inch strip of the same fabric. We're going to do that on the back and front piece. So this is what the armhole should look like. Taking a 1 inch strip, we've sewed it on the front side, turned it over and stitch up the rough edges. Next, we're going to be sewing our darts. Seeing that when marking it, I marked one side. All you have to do is just extend the lines according to your nipple space, and mine was 4.5. So I'm just going to increase all of the lines by 4.5 and just mark them out. Our darts have been sewn. Obviously, this is the front because it was sewn at the back and they have been ironed, and this is what they are looking like. I also fixed the darts for the back as well. Remember, we left a 2 inch sewing allowance, then our 4.5 inches of nipple space. The length of our darts is from our bust length to our waist length. Now for the neckline of this halter neck dress, we're going to take out our already cut out neckline and we're just going to replicate it, cutting out a second piece. I put the material on fold to make it easier to cut out. I'm putting a notch in the middle of both cutouts to aid when sewing, to make this easier to know where the middle point is, because we're going to be placing middle point to sew round. Placing the materials front side, notch matching notch, we're going to sew round. This can be a bit tricky, so take your time to sew it well. I went ahead and did the same thing for the back neckline, cutting out a second piece and sewing the top neckline. Then for it to balance, I went ahead to notch it. Now to attach the halter neck to the dress, taking the dress neck, we're going to fold it and notch the middle. This will help us to know where the middle is for ease of sewing. So that is the middle spot of the neck of the dress. So taking our halter neck, we're going to attach it middle to middle. From that middle point, we're going to sew the both sides round. This part can get tricky, so take your time to sew it very well. One side has been sewn, now is to sew the other side, so we're going to take it over and we're going to sew up the rough edges. We're folding it in, covering up the both rough edges. I'll take your time when sewing this part because it can be tricky and we don't want any mistakes. Our neckline has been sewn as well as the back, and it's time to attach the shoulders according to our hemline of 1 inch. Shoulders have been attached by 1 inch. Now it's time to attach the sides of our dress according to the body measurements. Remember when marking we added 1.5 inches sewing allowance, so we're just going to sew along with 1.5 inches and this will give us our exact measurement. Sides have been sewn. Now we're going to hem the ends of the dress by 2 inches according to what was cut. Now for the pleats that's going to be on the dress, taking our material that's already on fold, we're going to mark 6 inches of width, and for the length is depending on how much how full you want it to be, but I didn't really want mine to be full, so I just went ahead with the length of the material. Now I'm going to fold the material into two and sew it front facing front so that by the time I turn it, the rough edges are inside. So this is the one I've pleated already. I'm going to explain it and show you how I did it. Taking our sewn, turned and ironed fabric, Starting from the end of the fabric that is closed up, taking my pin, I'm just going to fold it in a little and use my pin and hold one side. Then I'm going to fold in another side and use my pin to hold it. For this, I am not using any measurement, I'm just eyeballing it. This is what I mean, folding one side and pin, folding another side to meet the first side and pin. So that is the pleats. Basically, just go ahead and do that throughout the whole material. For the fixing of our pleats, we're going to come down by 4 inches, and that dot you see on the dress is 2 inches down from the waistline. So from those 2 points on the straight line is where we'll be fixing the pleats, and we're going to be sewing the middle of the pleats. This is what the front is looking like. We're going to do the exact same thing at the back, and we'll fix our zip. First, from the back opening of our material, we're going to close up 2 inches up to the waist. The material is flipped over to the back, so we're going to impute our measurements again, this time divided by 2, and we're just going to mark each of them. I went ahead and connected my new measurement lines, and that is where I'll be sewing my zip on. So this is what our zip is looking like, neat and good. If you like to see video or where I sew different types of zip, drop it down in the comment section. So we have come to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below. Guess which country we'll be traveling to next. You just might be surprised. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.